So I missed this video. It's about a week old, I think. I missed this, but it just popped up on my radar recently. Kamala Harris was doing some event, and look at the Freudian slip she had.
And here's the other thing, because I also, I'm in a lot of meetings on foreign policy. For years and generations, wars have been fought over oil. In a short matter of time, they will be fought over water. So when we think about building up our economy around our infrastructure on something like water policy, it's literally about jobs. It's about the fundamental source of life that Tammy Duckworth was talking about. It will sustain life. And it's about strengthening up our nation.
All right, so first of all, let's just get this out of the way now. She's correct that there will be wars over water. But, that's happening because of climate change. And, it's going to get ugly, and it's going to get ugly quick. And it is, I think it's pretty much inevitable. There's also going to be gigantic refugee crises, way worse than what we have now, because there's going to be giant regions that are uninhabitable because they're just, the temperatures are not conducive to human life staying there, And a lot of conservatives, they might have a light bulb moment at some point when the Middle East is basically emptying. Then they're like, oh my God, why are there so many refugees? And they're brown. And they're going to hate it. And it's going to be like, well, this was predictable. This is one of the results of climate change. And you don't want to do Dickie McGee's acts about it. So here we are. So she's right about wars over water, for sure. That's going to happen. But I don't know if you caught it early on there. She said, been in a lot of meetings on foreign policy, and for years and generations, wars have been fought over oil. Reminds me of that meme popped up on Twitter. It's from some show where some guy's like, he admitted the thing. That's what everybody's like, she admitted the thing, the thing that they were trying to hide for so long. And the thing that I think is beyond fascinating about this is she led into that comment by saying, I've been in a lot of meetings on foreign policy. So that's like, yes, I'm the VP. I'm in the meetings with representatives of whatever, the deep state, the CIA, the FBI, you name it. I'm in the meetings with the generals, people from the Pentagon. I'm in the meetings with them. I'm in the meetings with the president, the cabinets, probably weapons manufacturers. We're in the meetings. And yeah, wars have been fought for generations over oil. Thank you. Because remember, they called all of us conspiracy theorists when we pointed that out with the Iraq War. That's what they did. You were a conspiracy theorist. You were Alex Jones if you said, hey, maybe oil has something to do with this. And to be clear, that's not the only thing. We've discussed this 1,000 times on this show, but whether it's the war in Afghanistan, so what's the war in Afghanistan fought over? Well, they have trillions of dollars worth of mineral wealth in Afghanistan. So a lot of the stuff that makes your smartphone function comes from Afghanistan. Trillions of dollars of mineral wealth. There's opium. In fact, we've had U.S. soldiers guard the poppy fields there. That's on the record. We know that as a matter of fact. So there's one thing. The other thing is, Smedley Butler says the military-industrial complex. Dwight Eisenhower pointed out the military-industrial complex, where war is profitable. War is a business in this country. A lot of people make a lot of money from war. You have things that the military uses, parts for guns and tanks and planes and all that stuff. You have stuff made in all 50 states. So war is intricately tied into the economy of every state in the Union. So, and not only that, you have these no-bid contracts, and you have the corruption of the military-industrial complex, the so-called defense contractors buying the politicians, and the politicians returning the favor by giving them all these contracts and all this taxpayer money. And so there's a lot of people who get wealthy off of it. So that's another reason why the war's going on. In the case of Iraq, yes, oil had something to do with it. The other thing is, when we're the world's sole superpower and the imperialist nation on the planet, we care about the geopolitical strategy of having control over certain regions we consider vital to counter China and to counter Russia, who we view as our top, potential enemies. So, the admission is amazing. And it's funny because this is, again, one of those things where not a peep about it in mainstream media, CNN, even Fox News, MSNBC, not a peep about it. but basically all over new media, among people who think for themselves, they're like, oh my God, whoa, look at this. Look what she just said. Look what just happened. So, quite a moment, and it really shines a light on what's actually happening. And I do think it was more of a Freudian slip. I do think if she thought about it, she wouldn't have said that. She would have hidden it. She would have been very politician-y like Kamala usually is, but instead here, she just had a moment where slipped right out, and here we are. Now you know. How many civilians have died in the Middle East because of wars over oil, and how many U.S. soldiers have died because of wars over oil? And think about the bullshit they told you every step of the way as people you know and love were fighting in that war, or innocent civilians were dying in that war. Every step of the way they told you, no, this is about freedom, this is about democracy, this is about defeating Saddam Hussein, who's a threat to us. This is what they said, and they were lying to you every step of the way.